Good evening. I'm going to remember to plug up my computer. Hello, everybody. Give me just a few minutes and then we are going to get started. Usually, if you're watching this on replay, the reason why I'm doing this now, in terms of waiting, is I find that it usually takes just a few seconds for um, YouTube to make people aware that I'm on. So let's see. We're going to get started in a minute. Thank you for being patient. All right. Copy. Um, let's see. All righty. All right. I really don't plan on being on long, y'all. I really don't. That's the plan. Okay. That's the plan. Now, sometimes I'm going to say this. Sometimes I usually be on here a little longer than expected, but I think y'all be okay with that. I think y'all be fine with that. I really do. I pray that you all have had a fantastic day. I pray that your day was phenomenal. I pray that you all smiled more. And I always say this, but I mean it. Like, I so mean it. I pray that you all smiled more than you were sad or mad. I pray that the only tears that you shed on today were tears of utter joy and excitement, all because you know that amazing things have happened and there are more amazing things to come. I pray that every time that you on today that you sit, and even tonight that you sit and you think about who you used to be and where you are now, and your face just shines because you are so grateful for growth and for prosperity. I pray that every moment that you take the time out to sit in gratitude of how amazing your life is. And even if it's not as amazing as you desire, that you are hopeful because you know that God has given you the power, which is might, strength, and ability. Thank you for the hearts. Good evening, y'all. To be the one to make the changes so that you can see the results that you desire. So welcome. My name is Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help women overcome mindsets that prevent profit, progress, and prosperity. Oh, thank you, Jamila. I am grateful that I can be the light, right? There's so much darkness going on around the world. And I truly believe that we, as light, as the light of God, should be light in the midst of darkness. And it's a very easy thing to do. If you all haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, you can click the link below and join me for the Mindset to Movement Masterclass to learn more. Click below. I want to ask you all a question. How many of you all know that there is more for you? Put a 1 in the comments if you know that there is more. Like, yeah, you know where you are right now. You know where you are in your life, your business, your finances, but you know that there's more. You know that there's greater. You know that there is so much more than what you are experiencing right now, right? You aren't settled. You aren't comfortable at this current level. Yes, you're grateful. You're grateful, right? But you know that there is more, right? Absolutely, Harley Bell. You know that there is more, right? So here's the question. I'm sure. What is the missing piece? And your life is awesome. I'm sure it is. Sure it is. But for some people, the wonder is, what is the missing piece that's preventing them from getting to their next level? And tonight we're going to talk about, there are many missing pieces, but I'm going to mention one that many people are not aware of, right? Or either are aware of and run away from. And it is consistency. Consistency. People run away from being consistent. And here's the reason why. Majority of the time, people are not consistent because majority are not patient enough to do the things over a period of time to yield the results that, that to do the things that will yield the results that they so desire. Many people want an instant reward. Many people want an instant production. Many people want to do the work today and then see the manifestation of their work in an hour, right? We live in a world where people want instantaneous reward, production, and manifestation. And right now, people are on a huge manifestation movement. And it's so sad to a point where people are willing to sacrifice certain things to get an instant result. And I want you to think, I want to put this into perspective. I want you to think about, and I say this a lot because it's very exactly microwave generation, right? And I want you to think about it. If you get a seed, and I'm talking about a seed, you get a seed, you put it in the right soil. You put it in the right soil and you position it in the right place to get the proper light that is necessary for the seed to grow, right? However, you come the next day, you come back and you water it. And you're expecting to see some type of production the next day. But we know that's not what happens. So a few days later, you come back, you water the seed. Remember, it's in the right environment, right? It's in the right environment. It has the right light, but you just have to be patient. So you come back the next day expecting to see a production of what you just sown, right? However, you don't see the results that you want to see. You do it for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then what happens is, if you are not careful, you get discouraged, all because you don't understand the process of sowing, caring for the seed that you sowed, and trusting the process, knowing that as long as that seed is in the right environment, in the right soil, getting the right light and the right water, eventually it's going to yield a physical manifestation. If you hold down Harley's name. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jamila. I was trying not to. See, I don't be wanting to put people in timeout. I really don't. That don't be the goal. It really don't. But because it's a distraction to everybody else, I definitely have. That worked. Thank you for the reminder, Jamila. So what happens is people get discouraged because they don't see an instant result, right? But I'm laughing at Jamila, y'all. So let me give you a perspective. And let me ask you all this question. Before you see manifestation of what you sown take root, to come up from the ground, what do you think happens first? What do you think happens first? The roots have to break. The roots have to break forth from the seed first and go deep before you see any physical manifestation above the ground. People don't realize that when you plant a seed, You put it in the right environment. There's a period of time and a process that is necessary that includes that seed breaking and bringing forth roots before you see an actual physical manifestation above the ground. And what a lot of, and this is my observation and my experience on the journey to success. People see your outward success, but they don't realize the back work that you consistently did over a long period of time to yield the results. This is where consistency comes in. This is where doing the right things, and hear me, the right things long enough to yield the results. So I'm going to share this with you all. Number one, consistency works on you before it works for you. I'm going to say that again. Consistency works on you before it works for you. So what does that mean? Consistency, doing the consistent, steady, even seemingly mundane things that nobody sees you do, right? Behind the scenes, late at night, hence it's 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm awake doing this with y'all, right? This is working on me. Sometimes I get on here and I've had, and that is, people can be, how can I say, ignorant. It's a nice way of putting it. And sometimes it's just me on here. But guess what? I'm okay with that because I understand the process of entrepreneurship. I understand the buying process that people buy from those who they know, like, and trust. Here's the thing. There is evidence that I've been here. There is evidence that I'm not just an overnight what you are doing consistently. Okay. Whether it's your business, whether it's weight loss. I've been on that journey as well, a health journey. People don't see the walking that you've done, the right eating that you've done. They see that you've lost the weight, but they don't know, just like with that seed, that underground work that nobody sees. You want to get to your next level? Identify what the next level is for you. One, and then identify what are the necessary steps that are going to get you there. And do them long enough that it produces the result. Again, consistency works on you. It works in you. It builds your character. It molds you. It makes you before it begins to work for you, before you begin seeing the results. You can drink, and here's the thing, you can drink water, you can eat vegetables, you can eat lean meats, but you got to do it over a period of time in order for, again, the stuff that nobody sees. Before you see the slim waist, before you see your face slim, do the work long enough so that you see the results. Again, consistency works on you before it works for you. But you got to show up and do the work. And here's the thing, I wrote this down. Consistency, and this is my experience. Consistency, if you yield to it, molds you into the person who deserves and is ready for the results that you so desire and for your next level. I want you all to picture getting to whatever your next level is. Your next level in your health, your next level in your relationships, your next level in your business. Imagine getting there only to not be able to stay there, let alone surpass the next level. How would that feel? And why wouldn't you be able to sustain that level or surpass it? Because you weren't built for the next level. You weren't ready for the next level. See, many of us want the next level. We want the money from the next level. We want the success. However, are you willing to become the person that is able to manage it and then multiply your next level? Just say you wanted to make $1 million, right? Let's just say your next level goal is $1 million, right? Are you ready to be the person, or are you already the person who can handle, manage, and multiply $1 million? Hey, Terry, are you that person? Because what happens with a lot of people when they're not ready, but they ascend to the next level by chance or by whatever the circumstance is, they're not able to sustain it nor multiply it. And then what happens is they take a loss and they're not positioned nor have the capacity nor the space to get up and do it again. They don't. I'll share this in all transparency about my weight loss journey, right? So I got as high as 260 pounds, I think it was. Last time I weighed, I believe it was last month, I was 198 pounds, right? But I didn't lose this weight overnight. I didn't lose this weight overnight. We're talking about years of weight loss. I'll say that. Went from 260 to now, because I'm not a big scale person. I don't like getting on scales. It's just not a thing for me, right? I like to feel my clothes getting bigger, right? But for me, it was a process. I started drinking a gallon of water a day. I started exercising 30 minutes at least 3 times a week. I started incorporating more salads into my lunch, mainly throughout the week. My goal was not to just lose weight. My goal is to age with grace and good health. That's my goal. So with that being my focus, I had to align my habits to get me there. Sure, I would have enjoyed losing weight like real quickly, but here's the thing. Majority of people who lose weight very rapidly don't have the mindset to sustain the weight loss. So what happens is they end up gaining the weight back once again. Same thing with finances. People come into a lump sum of money very quickly without having the mindset to manage it nor multiply it. And then ultimately they lose all of the money. You want to be the person that consistently develops and improves yourself over time so that you can, when you ascend to your next level, not only are you able to sustain that next level, but you're able to move on to the next level. Do you realize that one thing about consistency is that it prepares you for the next? How? Because consistency leads to discipline. One of the things that I'm doing right now is every morning I wake up and I do push-ups. And I'm going to tell y'all, it is not an exciting thing for me. It's not, let me just say that. Doing push-ups is not something that I enjoy doing. But I get up every morning and I do 20 push-ups. I'm up to 20 now. Now, 7 of those push-ups, I've gotten up to 7 being the ones that are not adjusted. Now, the remaining 13, I'm on my knees pushing. Pushing my whole body weight is a whole experience. Nobody told me that until I started. But anyway, I had to push myself. And one thing that doing these push-ups every morning is teaching me, and along with that at night, I'm up to 45 seconds of doing a plank. Now, here's the thing. Not only is this building me health-wise, but it's building me mentally. It's building me into even a sound entrepreneur. Why? Because it's teaching me to discipline myself. One thing about discipline and consistency, even when you don't see the results, as long as you know you're doing the right things, it makes you continue to show up. Not expecting an instant result because you understand that the success that you desire to have, you want to make sure that you maintain it and multiply it. And one thing about me, my desire is not only to multiply my own success, but to help other people multiply theirs as well. All the more reason why it's so important for me to be consistent. Because the clients that I serve, my goal is to help them not only reach their next level, but it's about multiplication, y'all. The Bible teaches us, there's a scripture that talks about, and I'm going to say this in the way that I understand it, okay? That I don't want anybody to go fishing for me. I don't want anybody doing the work for me. Teach me how to fish so that I never want any longer. I want to teach my clients the right strategies. I teach them the right strategies, tips, and tools so that they can get to their next level, maintain it, and then multiply it. And how about you go teach somebody else? It should be, because I get coached. I have a coach. The greatest evidence of my coach's influence in my life and in my business is by me then going out and teaching somebody else. Y'all, this is what consistency does. It builds character. It builds resilience. But you got to stay in it long enough, not only till you see the results, but till you get to your next level. And even beyond that. If you all haven't, make sure you click the link below and join me for the Mindset to Movement Masterclass on tomorrow. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So make sure that you do the right things. And that's the thing. You got to do the right things long enough. So let me give you some homework real quick. I want you to identify and write down what is your next level. And it can be anything. I know I talk a lot about business and about purpose, but what is your next level? What does your next level look like? What do you want it to look like? It can be in the area of finance. It can be in the area of health. It can be in the area of your relationship. But identify what is your next level. And then I want you to identify and ask yourself, what is the one thing? Here's me, simple as the simple coach that I am. What is the one thing that I need to do to get me closer to my next level? So I'll use me as an example. One of the things that I understand about entrepreneurship is that, one, people buy from those who they know, like, and trust, right? If nobody knows me, they won't know that I'm trustworthy. The best way for people to learn and get to know me is through the internet. So this is one of the reasons why I do a short every day, and I go live at least once a week on Mondays. I show up. I had someone today comment on one of my shorts and was like, oh, I remember you went live the other day. I love that because it lets me know that my consistency is bringing brand awareness and letting people know that I'm here. You don't want to be a brand that's here today and gone tomorrow, right? You want to be solid. So I understand that in order for me to build a relationship with you all, build a relationship with my ideal clients, I got to show up first. Even if nobody else is on here. And I'll be honest, a lot of times, sometimes, especially like what was it? Sometimes it's just me on here. Why? You got to understand the process. People have a very short attention span. Jamila's still here with me, right? Thank you for staying, Jamila. And here's the thing. More than anything, my prayer is that you're getting what it is that you need to ascend to your next level. And if you have a question or something that you want me to answer, make sure you drop it below. Right? So we have to make sure we position ourselves, especially if you are a brand that desires to maintain and multiply, manage and multiply. You want to develop a relationship with those who you have been called to serve. So again, going back to what I know my next level is, my goal is to serve more people. So I have to get in front of more people. How do I do that? By consistently showing up on social media. How do I consistently show up on social media? I go live once a week, at least on Mondays. I do a short every day on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Love it. Right? And here's the thing. I'm not expecting to get a whole bunch of clients overnight. That ain't the goal. I want to be ready to serve the people. And I appreciate that, Jamila. I want to be positioned mentally, emotionally, physically, background to serve the people that God has called for me to serve. Because here's the thing. While this is a business for me, this is also a ministry for me. So I'm serving the people that God has called for me to serve. I realize that when people invest in themselves through me, they're expecting a return. And it is my responsibility to serve at my highest capacity, which means I first have to work on myself the hardest. So again, identify what is your next level. Number 2, keep it very simple. You ain't got to give no big, long list. Once you identify what your next level is, ask yourself the number 1 question. What is the one thing that I need to do right now to get me closer to my next level? That's all you got to ask. And the third thing, do the work. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell y'all something. Don't wait for it to be perfect before you start. Don't wait for it to be perfect before you start. Why? Here's one thing I want you to understand. And I say this a lot because I believe it's true. Do you ever consider that car manufacturers release vehicles knowing and very well aware of the imperfections that are going on with the vehicle before you buy it? Have you ever considered that? What made me think about that? Well, you get these letters in the mail, white envelope, red handwriting, recall alert, and they tell you to go to your nearest dealership to fix the recall. 9 times out of 10, they knew that something was wrong with that vehicle, and it wasn't tip-top shape perfect before they released it on the market. Yet they released it on the market. And we get behind these huge machines and trusting that we're going to make it to our destination safely without them being perfect. And here you have an amazing gift to share with the world, but you want it to be perfect before you release it. Here's the thing. The scripture tells me that he perfects that which concerns me. Right? So everything that concerns me, it's not my job to be perfect. It's my job to yield to God perfecting me. And a lot of the times, whatever it is that you're working on, that you want to be perfect, it will become perfect over time, but you have to work it. Long story short, quit waiting to be perfect before you make a move. Do you realize that people are looking for the solution that you provide only in the way that you provide it? And they are not focused on the things that you're trying to make perfect. So again, identify what is your next level. What is the one thing that you can do right now to get started? And commit to the process long enough to see the results. And here is the thing, even if you don't, just like that seed, even if you do not see the results instantly, Be committed and disciplined enough to do it long enough until you get the results. Because here's the thing. Oh, the results are going to come. You do it long enough. You do the right things long enough. Oh, baby, the results are going to come. Just remember that consistency works on you and in you before it begins to work for you. If you all haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the link below, and join me for the Mindset to Movement Masterclass. Until next time, remember, know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.